Good morning, everyone, and welcome to From the Heart Friday, session 149, with me, Jessica Brigden of Jess B, Creative Cardiology. Hello, hello, happy Friday, and I am coming to you early because I have a stamping event to attend this afternoon. I'm actually being a guest at a fellow stampers event. It is the first in-person stamping event that I have personally attended in over 2 years. It's going to be a nice small group. I believe it's going to be held outside, but nonetheless, I actually ordered these cute little heart masks. I mean, aren't these fitting since I'm the creative cardiologist? So Jess B, Creative Cardiology, and they're kind of in this like Calypso Coral Flirty Flamingo color, which I thought matched my outfit. So there we go. I will be safety conscious as well at our stamping event. And so I have some swap cards to finish up, and so I thought I would share with you a fun technique. Hi Philomena, I'm glad somebody is able to catch me live. I wanted to share with you a fun quick and simple card technique using background stamps, and I'm going to be using the new Pretty Medallion background. This is in the annual catalog. Gorgeous stamp. I actually have one of Stampin' Up's original Medallion wood-mounted background stamps, and I made so many cards with that. It was absolutely one of my favorites. So I was excited to order this new updated version, and I'm going to show some quick and simple cards, ways that you can use background stamps, essentially maybe to mass produce if you need a large quantity of cards, or even just to make quick and simple. I mean, I love our designer series paper. I love Kylie's Love It, Chop It whole thing using backgrounds, but sometimes you want to stamp, and this is a great one. So, can you tell what colors we're going to be using today? I pulled in some Night of Navy, and in this case I am going to use some Flirty Flamingo. I was torn whether to go with the Calypso Coral or the Flirty Flamingo, but I went with the Flirty Flamingo on this. And then I'll show you another color combination using the new Orchid, Oasis, and Starry Sky as well. Thank you, Philomena, for sharing. Yes, if you're jumping on here, if you're watching the replay, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, all the hearts, share it, all that good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. And if you're one of my YouTube subscribers, or if you're over there on YouTube as well, exciting thing, we just passed the 2,600 subscriber mark. To some of you that might seem like a lot, to others that's not so much, but nonetheless I was excited to see that we had crossed that mark. So make sure you leave me a comment, let me know where you're from, because what I like to do when I reach a 100 or a milestone mark there, give away a couple cards. So make sure you comment today, because next week I will be announcing the winners for a couple of the cards that we're making today. All right, let me go ahead. We'll flip the camera and we'll get started. All right. Okay, so here we go. I've got my July host code all set up there. Thank you to those of you who have placed orders with me thus far this month. If you haven't already, my July code is ZJ43GPZP. This helps associate your online order with me, Jessica Brigden, and I really appreciated that. And that way I can send you my fun tutorials each month, all kinds of good stuff there. All right, so I'm going to put my hair up because it is hot back here in the craft room already, even early this morning. Whew. Another warm one. I think technically today might be I forgot what my husband said, 4th or 5th day in a row that we've surpassed 90 degrees here in upstate New York. We are definitely having a heat wave. All right, so Pretty Medallion is a background stamp. You can find these in your annual catalog here on pages 116 and 117. So as you can see, we've got 3, 6, 9, 10. We have 11 background stamps here. So I'm using Pretty Medallion. Of course, we've used the Butterfly Brilliance a lot in the past. That has a coordinating set of dies. I've used the Rays of Light quite a bit recently with the Sunny Splash, the cute little vintage bathing suit set. And we've got some other fun ones. Daisy Garden that coordinated with the Daisy Lane stamp sets and punches. So a lot of great background stamps here. And we even have one in the new July to December mini catalog here. It is a snow crystal, a single large snowflake background stamp as well. Now with all of our background stamps, they are now cling mounted. So it's the red rubber cling, okay? And if you don't have a block, you would need for these background stamps, this is the F block. This is the largest block that Stampin' Up! Makes, and you can see it really takes up the whole thing. Another way to kind of get around that if you don't have the large blocks is if you have a stamp apparatus. It works perfectly for large background stamps as well. I'm going to be using my my F block here today, but I have another stamp already set up on my stamp apparatus that I will share with you in another video coming up. All right, so what I'm going to do, what you need, quick and simple cards. So for both of these color combinations here, you need your background or your card base here. Hi, Polly. Welcome. So if you're just joining, we are making some quick and simple cards using background stamps, the pretty medallion background. This is great if you need to create card swaps or mass produce, if you're having an event or a party or sending out customer thank you cards or team recognition, all of those great things. There's a lot of reasons that sometimes you need a larger amount of cards. In that case, I mean like more than like 10. And you need to be able to kind of crank them out easily. Okay, so you'll need your card base, which in this case 5.5 by 8.5. You need a coordinating or contrasting layer. So we use Flirty Flamingo for our card base. Our next layer here is Night of Navy. This is 4 by 5.25. And then your basic white cardstock, which is 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to just cut a whole bunch, whatever colors you want to use. And what I like about these cards is you're using 2 contrasting colors and then white as your neutral. So for the other color combo I'm going to do today, I'm using Orchid Oasis as our background. Starry Sky is cut to 4 by 5.25. And then again, your basic white layers that are 3 3/4 by 5. What happens when you cut all of your basic white layers, you're actually going to end up with several leftover pieces that are 1 inch by 3 3/4. So save those because we're going to use our tag punch here, our banners pick-a-punch, and make some great little banners to go with our cards as well. So in this case, there's absolutely no waste in making these cards. We are maximizing every little bit. Hey, Lori. Oh, Polly, you are in North Carolina. Nice. My husband and I just watched the Where the Crawdads Sing movie. I loved the book, and oh my goodness, the movie did not disappoint. It was really nice, and that takes place in North Carolina. Love the Carolinas down there. Really pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my piece of chipboard backing that comes in our designer series paper, or you might have a smaller piece that came in like a paper pumpkin kit. Either way, because the background stamps are large, they're actually a little bit bigger. They're oversized from our designer series paper. So you're going to end up with pieces that kind of stamp off of your paper. So you need something to protect your work surface here. All right. Polly said, yes, she heard it was a good movie. Hasn't seen it yet. It just came out last week, exactly a week ago, I believe. And it's been so hot here that even with our little air conditioner, we don't have central air. We've just got a couple window units. And with it being that hot, I begged my husband, like, please, can we just go to the movies just to sit in the air conditioning for a couple hours? And so that's what we did the other night. And it was really nice. There was only like well, there was the two of us. I think there might have been 5 other people in the theater. So we had, I mean, it was very spread out. We had the whole theater to ourselves, essentially. It was really nice. Okay, so here we are working with our Flirty Flamingo, our Night of Navy, and then our basic white. There's a couple different things you can do here. I might think I'm going to use my Night of Navy. And okay, so with these large stamps, leave your block here on your surface, and you are going to spread your ink all over onto your block. So in this case, I'm using the Night of Navy. And then you're going to pick that up. It's a 2-hander here. All right. And decide where you want to stamp your image. Though there's a couple different ways you can change this up. Good morning, Donna, out in Washington State. Oh, some of you are early risers. I really think you guys are, 3 hours behind us here. All right. So one simple way to do this is right smack in the middle. Okay. So like I said, if you don't have the F block, or if you don't think you have enough strength really to give this a good push here, then the Stamparatus is perfect for these cards, especially for background stamps as well. All right, so here is kind of idea number 1, where we have stamped our background, our pretty medallion, right in the center of our basic white. Now I'm going to show you how you can kind of change that up, change the look up just a little bit, just by placing your background in a slightly different location. So again, leave your stamp on the table, apply that ink pad to the stamp, and now this time I'm going to come in on the upper right corner here, and you can angle it however you want. So upper right corner, and this way it's going to leave me some white space so I can stamp a sentiment directly on the paper. So we stamped in the upper right corner, and actually when you turn it, now you've got some room down here that you could stamp a sentiment. Okay, and so we're going to do a third little change up here. Oh, Polly says she just got the large snowflake. Yes, I did too. And the same formula can be used with that. And I think I'll actually be doing a video on that probably in a couple weeks. I'm just enjoying summer so much that I am not ready to I'm not ready to move on to winter cards yet. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to stamp my medallion up here in the top left corner. Again, leaving some white space down here. All right, go ahead, firm push. Okay, really pretty. So now you see I've got some white space here. So let me close that ink pad so that I don't get this all over the place. All right, so let's do our backgrounds, our card bases here. We'll build our foundation, then I'll show you what these look like when we've put them together. All right, so like I said, Flirty Flamingo here, just a half sheet. This was 5.5 by 8.5. Here we go. I've got a couple others. We might as well do them all at the same time. That is the beauty of if you're going to do a large amount of cards, go ahead and cut everything first. Oh, the sun is shining. I don't usually do videos in this room at this time of day. So if you're seeing the streaks, the shadows coming across my work surface here, it's because the sun is essentially directly outside my window, shining right in. This is an east-facing window here, and it does take a little while before the sun shifts to the other side of the house and makes this a little bit easier to to film in. All right, so our Night of Navy layers here, 4 by 5.25. So like I said, prep all of your card bases. So decide how many cards you're going to make, and then cut all your card bases, and then cut an equal amount of your layering pieces. So obviously if you're doing card bases, you get 2 per sheet on a standard card. All right, hi Teresa, how are you? And then when you're doing your next layer, in this case the Night of Navy, you actually get 4 per sheet. These are cut to 4 by 5.25. So you get 4 per sheet on these. All right, so however many bases you need, and then your layers. All right, and then you're gonna cut your basic white as well. Those, again, you're gonna get 4 per sheet. Okay, so cut everything first. That makes it quick and easy. Fold all your card bases, glue on your contrasting layer, do your stamping. Okay, so now we're gonna come in. So this one we stamped in the top left corner. So this is going to be a portrait style or vertical card here. Okay, and then our next one, we had stamped, this was in the top right, and then I turned it, or I guess if you wanted to turn your paper originally, again, stamp in the top left gives it a little bit different look just by changing the orientation of your paper and where you place your stamp. This one is a landscape or horizontal card here. And then this one can go either way because we have stamped it right smack in the middle. Okay, so you can go either direction with this. Okay, so now we need a nice sentiment, and I love the, okay, what did I do with it? I had a couple of sets here. Oh, here we go. Sometimes I'm a little too organized for myself. All right, so I've picked out 2 of my favorite sentiment sets that I think will go really nicely with Pretty Medallion. And I've chosen the Go-To Greetings. So this has essentially 4 different ways to say happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, and thank you. So yeah, so you've got several different fonts, sizes from like small to large here that you can use. And then I love this lovely and lasting because I really like the way the thinking of you and the thank you are written on here. So I'm going to pull in the thank you, or excuse me, the thinking of you from Lovely and Lasting first. All right, and I'm going to stamp that here on my landscape card. Let me pull in my ink pad. Okay, so this one looks really nice down there in the lower right corner. Now with this one, we've got a little bit more room, so I could come in with the Go-To Greetings. I'm going to use the medium size here and pick the thinking of you. Okay. And then for our third design here, we don't have any room. So remember when I said you were cutting your basic white layers that you would end up with some scraps that are 1 inch by 3 3/4. All right, these are perfect to fit in your banners pick a punch, or we have a couple different multi-size punches here. Go ahead and release that. The humidity is making things stick a little bit. Decide which end you want. So I'm going to flag the end here, poke this all the way in. Now make sure you flip this over so that you can make sure it's lined up. You don't want this crooked. You want to make sure that that's butted right up against the edge and that it's even. And that way you can go ahead and give yourself a nice crisp little banner. I am no good at using my paper snips for that. I know some people can do that. Yeah, no, punches for me all the way. Hi, Brenton. Good morning down under. How are you today? All right. Hey, maybe this is a good time to go live. I've got quite a few viewers on here. All right. So with this, now that we've got our little banner, you can change the orientation of where you want this to go. So I think I'm going to use the medium-sized thinking of you here from our Go-To Greetings. And we'll ink this up in our Night of Navy. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle here. Okay, perfect. That's close enough to the middle. All right, this time we're going to come in with a few dimensionals. Okay, sometimes we all need just some quick cards, and this is a classic set of measurements. So you get your card base, your contrasting layer, your basic white. All right, and then when you're prepping, you end up with an extra little tag. You can place this down here towards the lower right. And now we just need some jewels. All right, so for this pretty medallion background, these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, these work perfectly. They come in 3 different sizes. I've got a couple partial packages left in here. So I'm going to take my snips and use the largest size. And those look really nice, I think, right in the center. Right in the center of our medallion. So go ahead and apply all of your centers. So you could leave it with just one. I mean, it's classic, right? Quick, simple, classic. I feel like we do need a little extra something on here. So in this case, I'm going to come in, whoops, with my medium size. Just do an extra little bit. And then, yeah, I feel like we need a little something more because you should definitely do things in thirds. It's just the way things go here. And so you could do one over here, kind of frame it in, change it up. I'm also thinking it'd be kind of cool to use these tiny little rhinestones here on this. It's kind of like the little flower then on the medallion. So in that case, we've used 5. You always want to use an odd number. So this uses a few more rhinestones, but still quick and simple and really pretty. So we've used the exact same measurements, and just by changing the location of where we place our stamp on the paper, all right, you get different looks. And then pulling in your sentiments. All right, so this was the combination of Flirty Flamingo and Night of Navy. So we've got a handful of those. Let me just show you what it looks like with a little bit different color scheme. I've actually chosen for the swap cards I'm making for my event this afternoon, we're using the Orchid Oasis with Starry Sky and basic white. So our new in colors here. And I've got a little, must have gotten some ink on my paper there. Again, your card base, just a half sheet, 5.5 by 8.5. All right, I'm going to hide my little ink smudge under my layer of Starry Sky. Again, 4 by 5.25. All right, so nobody will ever know there was a boo-boo under there. Okay, then your background, again, pull in your scrap paper, because again, when you're using background stamps, you over stamp a little bit. I am going to clean, I need to clean the Night of Navy ink off of my stamp here, and somewhere I had some stamp cleaner. Oh, well. All right, I think this is wet from when I used it earlier today. So go ahead, wipe this on there. That gets it pretty clean. All right, the other tip for that, especially if you're using a background stamp on your Stamparatus, then you don't have to worry about what size block. And you definitely want to use your chamois for that. The little purple chamois works great for background stamps or anything that's on your Stamparatus. Okay, so for this one, we are using Starry Sky. Again, put your background stamp flat on the table. Go ahead and apply your ink. You can tell this is one of the newer pads. It's a bit juicier, so I didn't have to press as hard here. Determine the layout where you want your stamp to go. I like to keep a little bit of white space so I have room to stamp my sentiment. Gorgeous. All right, now this is all set. We can mount this onto our foundation here. Oh, just ran out. I knew that was going to happen. So far I've made about 40, I think I'm over 40 cards here on this on this roll of Stampin' Seal. So yep, that makes sense with multiple layers that I'm running out here. I do have a refill handy. All right, grab that out, pop this in. All right, make sure that your openings aren't too goopy. All right, come on here. We just need to prime it a little bit. There we go. Perfect. All right, this one I'm gonna do landscape again, and that way I can come in with my sentiment. I don't have a lot of room here, so I think I might use, I don't think my thinking of you is gonna quite fit. So how about I use just a note? I think that'll fit on here nice. Let's see, here we go. Pull this out. This is a newer set. I haven't used all the stamps yet. Okay, so got my just a note on here for demonstration purposes today. I'm not going to put I'm going to take a risk. I'm not putting my label on it quite yet. I'm just going to stamp it. Huh, nice. All right, that came out great. Again, love using these iridescent rhinestones. This is like my go-to embellishment because they're faceted and they reflect the different colors of whatever you've stamped with. That's just, it's so perfect. All right, so since I'm making swap cards and I'm giving these out, I thought it would be nice too. I want to stamp my little signature here since Creative Cardiology. So I'm going to pull in the new limited edition stamps. And these are nice too because a lot of them have the Stampin' Up! Copyright on them, which means this fits Stampin' Up!'s angel policy. But what that is if you sell cards, essentially, you need to share because Stampin' Up!'s stamps are copyrighted. They own the rights to these stamps. And so, in allowing us to use them, if you're selling, to make a profit, then their one request is that we stamp them with a Stampin' Up! Copyright stamp. So all of these limited edition stamps fit that nicely. So I'm going to come in with tone on tone with my Orchid Oasis here, and we're just going to flip and stamp these right on the back. Made with love, copyright Stampin' Up! Perfect. Now my card is ready, and then I can go ahead and fit these in my clear envelopes. All right, I like to package them up with my business cards. Got all my social media details here on the back. All right, so this is a nice way if you're making swaps. So what a swap is, essentially a trade, is that when you quite often go to a stamping event, everybody makes cards and then we swap. So somebody gives me this card and I'll trade them that card, however it works. And it's nice to include your details, information on the back in case anybody has any questions about your card, or if they want to tell you they just love it so much they want to make it and wondered what supplies you used. All right, this is a nice way to include your contact information without stamping your name directly on the back of the card, or without having to put a sticky note or something like that. And then these are ready to go. You can just tuck your flap right in the envelope. And there we go. So I have a bunch left to prep. So before I attend my event this afternoon, I need to finish stamping the sentiment on my cards here. I did a whole variety here in the Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky. I've already stamped my Made with Love on the back. So I just need to stamp my sentiment, package them in my clear envelopes, put in my contact information, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to be working on this and then heading out to my stamping event this afternoon. I appreciate you guys joining me this morning. It was so nice to have so many of you join me. I realize this is not our usual stamping time, but I hope you'll give it a try. Again, this pretty medallion is in the annual catalog. As Polly mentioned, something similar. We have a nice snowflake background stamp in the mini. So a variety of different backgrounds, and they make quick, cute cards, and you can just change it up a little bit just by varying the placement of your stamp. All right, thank you guys so much. It was so nice to have all of you here. All right, thank you all. Lots of love. And again, don't forget to leave me a comment if you're watching the replay. Thumbs up, like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We just hit the 2,600 mark on YouTube, and I will be doing a giveaway. I will pick a couple of names from the comments, and I'll be doing a giveaway next Friday, okay? So make sure you join me again, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.